Hey guys, welcome back to Get Into It with Jason Hook, with your host, me, Jason Hook. We're going to get into it real quick. I have a bunch of stuff to show today. I went to a flea market a couple weeks ago and spent a bunch of money and bought a bunch of stuff. So that's pretty much what this whole episode is going to be. It's going to be a long one, so buckle up. You guys hear that? My cat's ready. Get out of here. Get out of here. So what we're listening to is Cancerous Growth, Late for the Grave. Back here on Action Records out of Boston. Now these guys are from Boston, or the Boston area, in the mid-'80s. It's kind of like a crossover sound, like an early crossover sound. Definitely Corrosion of Conformity, early Corrosion of Conformity influence in my opinion. These guys recorded at all the same places and played a lot of shows with the bigger, well-known Boston bands. But for some strange reason, just kind of seem to slide to the wayside. I don't know. I don't know if anyone outside of Massachusetts knows who they are. Just my assumption is they're just one of those only Boston-only bands. Still, I'm going to turn it up in a minute. But this came out in 1985. They put out 2 LPs and 2 7-inches. I think they started playing out again recently. I could be wrong. They might have done some reunions. That's Late for the Grave. Is it back? Has a little Xerox insert. It's got all the lyrics on the back. I don't know if this is an original insert or if someone stuck it in there. I've had this record for a real long time. And I kind of go on a kick of listening to them. So I've been on a Cancerous Growth kick as of the last couple days. So let me turn this up real quick. Alright, I don't have a remote for my receiver. So anyways, there's a bunch of stuff I'm going to show here. This first one I know I'm going to catch some shit for from some people, but I don't really care. But this is the Big D in a Kids Table Shop by Lamy LP. These guys are a local Boston ska band that I saw a ton when I was in my youth. Secret jams here. This was repressed, I want to say, 3 years ago. This came out in 1997. I had it on CD. It was a CD split with a band called Drexel, which was actually Big D and the Kids Table without a horn section with fake names. That was awesome. Another awesome local band. But it's got like the printed, it's got all the lyrics on it. This version comes with an extra song that wasn't on the CD. It's white vinyl. It wasn't on the CD, so it kind of threw me for a loop because I listened to this thing so many times that like I know every song and like the progressions and like what order they're in without knowing them. You know, like one song went in, I would start singing the next song in my mind or just mumbling it to myself before it even started. But this was a ska band I saw all the time. These are all dudes. They all met when they went to college here and started this band. I think they still exist and play shows, but this record here is like kind of like a time marker for me. I know for a couple of my friends too as well. They dig this. That's Big D in a Kids Table Shop by Lamy. It's on Strictly Rude Records. I think this might be number 4. I don't buy a lot of ska releases, so I don't know if this is a well-known label, but Big D. Usual, I'll post a link for it so you guys can listen to it down there if you want to. I know a bunch of you won't. So I saw these guys on Friday night. This is the Hatebreed, Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. I got that right? Yes, Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. This is the repress of it. This came out in 1997 as well. This is on Victory. See the rip rabies right there. This record just turned 20, so they're doing a tour where they play this and Perseverance, which came out 5 years after this, which is a record that blew them up onto like radio or, you know, the singer started hosting 120, not 100, Headbangers Ball and stuff. But this black vinyl with just a Hatebreed. These guys from Connecticut, they started off as a hardcore band. This is not as metallic as the later stuff, which you guys might know if you got into them after Perseverance. This is more of like the Set Time and Place 97 hardcore record. It's got the lyrics. Got the photo and, you know, thank yous and lyrics. A pretty huge thank you list here. Massachusetts and Connecticut hardcore. Trying to find the bands they thank on here. Voice of Reason, Agnostic Front. But anyways, I love this record. It's fucking hateful. It's angry hardcore. 1997, definitely 1997. If you guys know the sound. They played this song. They played every song on Friday night here. It was at this huge venue in Worcester, Mass. A lot of people there are just nightmarish. Like, because the later stuff is so popular, they play songs off this, and I know a lot of people were just like. But the one plus was I got a cool Hatebreed long sleeve with the Under the Knife 7-inch cover on the back. That's totally 90s. It's like green. I'm gonna wear the shit out of that. You probably see it in a video in the future. But again, this is Hatebreed. Satisfaction is a Death of Desire on Victory. This is already over. Nope. Next, we have another Jason Jam, mid-90s Jason Jam, which is the Rancid NOFX split here on BYO Records. They put out like 4 or 5 of these, where it's just a split record of 2 bands. There's a Hot Water Music Leatherface one that's awesome. This one's they all have similar covers. This one's completely different because it's actually the bands covering each other's songs, which the other ones are just regular releases. I've always loved this record. It was actually really hard to find for a little while, but I guess they've repressed it. It's black vinyl, so it's just Rancid and then NOFX. I know the cover might seem different. I know there's a lime green cover. I had it on CD for a long time, but it's just interesting to hear the bands play like in their style, like NOFX songs in Rancid style, and Rancid songs in NOFX style. Where Fat Mike can't do any of the fucking bass lines at all. And but you know, I know every song on here by each band, so this is just a total another Jason thing, along with the Big D record that I couldn't pass up. But these are all Mark Lind was selling these. He set up the record fair up, and it was at a brewery in Salem, and so he does Stateline Records and getpunk.com, which I'll post a link. You guys should check them out. He gets some cool stuff. But you know, reasonably priced. The splits. These are, like I said, from a split series. There's 4 or 5 of them with all different bands, but this one's just completely different. The covers, like I said, are very similar. It's like the same font with a photo of each band and then a volume number. This one's different because they're covering each other's songs, but that's the Rancid NOFX BYO split series. I think it's not volume 3. And these all came from the same person, so I'll post a link. Another thing where I came there, this dude Chris, I know, he runs Painkiller Records. He's involved with Radio Raheem. He was there. When I saw him and this other kid, Doug, who does 45 Revolutions, which I've talked about on here, I was like, fuck, I had to go to the ATM. I just ended up spending money. So, these came from Chris. These two, and I have a bunch of 7-inches I'm going to show you. These are just the LPs. So, it's the Black Flag demos. It's Keith Morris and Henry Rollins. 78 Keith Morris and the 82 Henry Rollins. I know the Henry Rollins one's been rolling around for a while. I guess Henry with an I. This is definitely a bootleg. Because SSC, well, Greg Ginn controls SSC, which controls everything, so I don't think they put this stuff out regularly. But side A is actually, it's Keith Morris when the band was called Panic. And side B is Henry. And Henry kind of bleeds over. The last 3 or 4 songs on side A are Henry. The recording isn't that great. It's the Panic stuff definitely came from a tape that's probably been dubbed a million times. It's a little crackly. The Henry stuff is the same thing. It's demos. Like, they're not telling you it's anything that it's not. This comes with an insert. I'll show you. It's an insert here. The lyrics, some photos. The back's just white. They left a couple songs off. Song 7-15 is the 82 demo. Nothing Left Inside and Screamer left off this record due to time constraints. So it's just there. Like, I know, like I said, I know the Henry demos have been floating around for a while, downloadable and whatnot. Where you get guys that steal music, but this is just cool on vinyl. I've never seen this version of it. I just thought I'd pick it up. I think it was like $15. But that's a Black Flag, the 78 and 82 demos. And I'm going to flip the record. So I'll be right back. I'm back. So next we have another one. This is something I've actually been looking for. Original press for a while. But it's the D. Kreuzen or D. Kreuzen. I always say it wrong. Like, technically a self-titled LP. This one's cool. This one's different. because, you know, that's how I roll. I have to do different. But this one's different. This came out, the original came out in 1984, I believe. This is from 1986, this version. The thing about this version that makes it so, like, collectible and different is that it was actually, it's on maroon colored vinyl. And it was because the label Touch and Go, which is you know, a classic hardcore punk label, ordered 1,000 copies of another record. I believe it was a Butthole Surfers record, and they sent them 1,000 of these on maroon vinyl. And they said, "Oh, hey, send them back. You know, whatever. Our bad. Send the other ones back to be destroyed, and we'll send you the Butthole Surfers record." What they did was they sent some back, and they sold some. So supposedly there's only 100 to 200 of these on this color vinyl in existence. These guys are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. As you can see, it's like a dark maroon. It's got the original, it's got the labels. Now the thing about this one too that's different from the 84 press, the original 84 press, is that it was all black vinyl, the 84 press. But if you can see right here, the Touch and Go label, the Touch and Go address on the label is Monterey, Ohio, which I could, and on the back here it's Dearborn, Michigan. So it's a different addresses. On the original, they're both Monterey or Monterey. I know I'm gonna fucking fuck that up, but on the original, they're both like the P.O. Box 716 Maumee, Maumee. If you guys are from the area, I'm sorry, I'm fucking up. But yeah, on the original press, it's black vinyl with that address on the label in the back. On this press, the back has the Dearborn address on it. It just comes with an insert here. Let's get some live shots. Lyrics. So the thing about this band is it's 80s punk rock, but the vocals are very, very gruff, like very like painful gravelly, I would say. It's great fucking shit. I mean, the Midwest stuff, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, it's great, but it's completely different than the East Coast and West Coast shit that was going on at the same time. Definitely a different feel to this stuff, but it's still awesome. These guys, and this was they put out an LP after this. These guys were around for a long time. They put out a 7-inch, I think it was I wrote it down so I won't forget. The Cows and Beer EP. Came out in 1982, and then this, which was just punk, hardcore punk, and then they put some stuff out after, which they kind of delved into the college rock or alternative rock of the 80s. It's not like the weird, like the 80s stuff, you know, like, so, but yeah, I wrote down how to properly say it. It's Die Kreuzen, sorry. But this is Die Kreuzen, self-titled. It's a great record. Again, I'll post a link below on classic Touch and Go, which was infamous, famous label, and the whole story about this, so. Next, I bought stacks and stacks. I bought a bunch of 7-inches or 45s, which we're going to get into right now. Move this junk here. The first one we have here is Neon Christ. This is a bootleg of the first 7-inch, which is commonly called the Parental Suppression 7-inch, because it's the first song. This is on Reagan-era hardcore, which some of you punk or hardcore kids who watch us know. They pressed a lot of really hard to find stuff in the, I want to say it was the early 2000s. There's no date on this because it's a boot. It's got the classic, you know, white labels with the, I don't know if you guys, this is a scratch off matrix, so it's definitely not legit. But these guys are from Atlanta, Georgia, again in the early to mid 80s. A little bit different, again, like a little bit different than what was going on at the time with some other hardcore bands. There's definitely, there's like a spoken word at the end. I'll show the insert. I don't own an original copy of the Parental Suppression 7-inch, so I don't know if this is like word for word the same thing. But yeah, these guys are from Atlanta, Georgia. Again, early American hardcore, but with that tint. Like every region had it. It's almost like if you guys are wrestling dorks, like, you know, regions. Every region played fucking hardcore, but every region had their own little taste or their little twist to it. So this has it's a little metally, I would say. Vocals are a little screechy, but this came out in 1984, well, the original did. I don't know when this version. I'm going to say it's early 2000s. I know I have some other Reagan-era HC releases. I'm going to say, just for me being the way that I am, my weird brain, that it's Euro. It's European, judging by the weird sleeve. It's like tissue paper. That's just usually a giveaway for me with these. These were like, bootlegs like this were churned out all the time in the early 2000s. I have so many. But that's Neon Christ. Like, again, could be parental suppression, could be self-titled, whatever you want to call it. Next we have Fight with Donald by the Neos. Now these are recordings from 1982 and 1983. This came out, I think, in 2000. These Neos were an infamous Canadian hardcore punk band. The recording on this isn't that great. It's very sad. It's like there's some live songs. It's very, very poorly recorded. But these guys, like, original Neos records are $1 trillion, and they're really hard to find. But so this was a band. This was like a co-release by different labels. So you got the lyrics here, with some photos behind it. You got like little like snippets of articles about the Neos and flyers here. Then when you open it up, if I can get it open. When you open it up, you got flyers and photos throughout the history of the band. And these guys are around in the early 80s. I think they put out 2 EPs and that was it. I could be wrong. If you guys know more, you can definitely let me know. I just know that I've seen some of their records for sale. I've never actually seen a physical copy of them, but I've seen them on the internet and photos of them, and I know they're big money items. And this comes with a little catalog here for Schizophrenic Records was one of the labels. They're out of Canada. A few years ago, they put out a really awesome live Freeze LP, which I think might not be live. I think it's like a fake live record because it sounds so fucking good, or it just sounds that good. And then it comes with a little history of the Neos written by one of the members. On the backs, some ads and stuff for the other label that put this out, which was called Break Even Records out of Canada. It is 7-inch, has been in the work for almost 5 years now. I have lots of unreleased and rare stuff, except for the first Neo 7-inch. As of February 97, Break Even has released 39 cassettes, 11 7-inches, and 1 8.5-inch flexi, 1 LP and 1 CD. Break Even supports the subculture in every genre, and so should you. So maybe this came out in 97 and not 2000. But anyways, this is just like a collection of it might be dead. I think it's demo tracks and like some live tracks. They put stamps. It's cool. They put stamps all over the thing. Don't let them disappear. That's cool. See, this was before the internet, guys. 97. You couldn't just go to Spotify or YouTube. So labels like this had to put this stuff out, or you would literally have no way to hear it, or you're to get like a 50th generation tape that's been copied 70 times and sounds like shit. But so this is the Neos Fight with Donald EP. And these are both bought from Chris, who I mentioned earlier about the D Kreuzen and the Black Flag record from. I can tell by the price tags. Next I have Rain on the Parade, the Fired Up EP. Now if you guys don't know about Rain on the Parade, they were a band in the mid-90s out of Philly that was playing more of a stripped down hardcore when, like, you know, Earth Crisis and all that stuff was real popular, like the metal stuff. They put out an LP. Oh, they have all sorts of stuff out. There's some stuff that's bootleg. There's some stuff that's like not listed on Discogs that I have. So they broke up for a little while, and some of the members went on to start a band called Fired Up, and then they got back together. I don't think Fired Up ever released anything. So this is actually songs that were written for Fired Up that Rain on the Parade did when they got back together. And this came out in the 2000. I think their last release before that might have been 96 or 97. So it's 4 years later. But this is on Young Blood Records, which I think they still exist. They had a run where they're putting out some pretty awesome shit. I mean, right here, you can tell what kind of music this is on this side. If you guys can make it out, it's all record covers and records. You get SOA, Necros, you know, the Negative Effects, DYS, Urban Waste, Cause for Alarm, Poison Idea, Iron Cross, Last Rites, Floor Punch, Chain of Strength, Cause for Alarm. Actually, they have they have like some really rare stuff here. Sorry, guys. The 7 seconds, 7 seconds record. So again, this is just it's basically very simple, stripped down hardcore. Here's the back. And with these bands too, this would be a record I'd buy in 2000. Again, pre me having access to everything on the internet, where you just look at the inside to see like what they sound like. So you got the bass player here with an early Dropkick Murphy shirt on. You got a side-by-side shirt. You know, you got a dude here. He's wearing he has a dude in the crowd with the Youth of Today shirt. The singer wearing a Bones Brigade skate team shirt with the rat head, the rat bones with rat bones on it. A dude in the crowd with a Better Than 1,000 shirt. So basically, you know, this is how you would tell, like, oh, this is hardcore I would like. You know, look at the label, see the shirts, and buy it. The thank you list is the other thing, too, but there's nothing, they don't really thank any bands here. But, anyways, this was Rain on the Parade, the Fired Up EP. I'm pretty sure this is the last thing they ever put out officially. I know there's been some boots and collections after, but this is bought by the 45 Revolutions Distro. Again, I can tell by the price tag. Chris is very meticulous. He writes stuff on his. His just has prices. But the record's over, so again, I'll be right back. I'm going to throw something else on. So to stick with the theme here, I threw on this the second Cancerous Growth LP, or whatever they call it. This one actually comes with a bonus 7-inch. This was an 87. This came out on Action Records as well. What else is in here? This one's a little bit more polished than the first one, but it's got Cancerous Growth ads here. Some flyers on the back. What do we got here? What can I get here? Oh, t-shirt's only $6. Large and XL only. I'm out. 60-minute cassette. There's all sorts of stuff here. First vinyl sold out. Second release with the 7-inch called Today's Society, which I also have, sold out. But anyways, I don't want to waste so much time on this one. Got a bunch of other 7-inches to show you, but here's the sleeve for the record. And the other thing on here too is, like, I bought this from Mars Records years and years ago. Cancerous Growth, Boston mid-80s mid-tempo hardcore. Classic, complete with 7-inch and insert. It's getting harder to find, 1987. So thanks Tim from Mars Records. Okay, anyway, so 22 minutes, alright. Next we have the Infest Pissed Happy Children split 7-inch. This is not the Flexi 8-inch that came out. This is it's a split with the bands on Slap-A-Ham, but they're live recordings. So, the insert here. I mean, Infest is Infest. I don't need to explain to you guys. Piss Happy Children are a little bit more thrashy and like spastic than Infest is. It's not. I wouldn't say it's power violence. This doesn't sound like to my ears on the recording. Piss Happy Children side, the Infest side. I know the set because there's ads in here for the Flexi, the limited edition 8-inch one-sided 7-song Flexi. So this actually this one right here has, I think, 10 songs on it. No, it has 11 songs on it. 8 Infest songs and 3 Piss Happy Children songs. But there's a little review for the Flexi. This was the first release on Slap-A-Ham too. Well, the Flexi was. This isn't. When did this come out? I know I wrote down a date for this. This came out in 2000. And the Flexi came out in 1990. So this is just a collection long after. I mean, I don't know a lot about Piss Happy Children, but I know 2000 was long after Infest had done anything. So again, Infest Piss Happy Children split 7-inch. Bought from Chris. It says Infest Piss Happy Children on the price tag. On Slap-A-Ham. Next is a song that's one of my personal favorite soundtrack songs. It's the Ramones' Pet Cemetery. In the back. This actually came on. We were listening to Pandora on the way to the record show, and this came on, and then I saw it there, so I had to buy it. If you guys don't know the song, look it up. It has a music video. It's later Ramones. I think it was on Brain Drain. The song came on Brain Drain, but it was actually for the movie Pet Cemetery. The B-side on this is Sheena is a Punk Rocker. The weird thing about this is I looked on Discogs, and this record exists, but I couldn't find one that has the Sheena is a Punk Rocker B-side. So I don't know if this is for a European press or a weird different press. I mean, it's a $10 or less single, so it's not. I don't think it's worth $1 million or anything. But it's just weird. I couldn't find one that had Sheena on it. But you got the later Ramones photo there. Dee Dee, the only one with short hair. But I love this song. I don't ever want buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. I just love it. I mean, later Ramones are hit or miss for me, but this is one of my favorite later Ramones songs. So I grabbed it. So that's the Pet Cemetery song from the soundtrack for Pet Sematary with Sheena as a punk rocker. B-side. Next we have Foreseen, this two-song banger here, Structural Oppression. Now these guys are from Helsinki, Finland, and play a really crazy crossover, a insane face-melting crossover, just harking back to the day, not talking back to the days of just long hair and white high tops and peg pants. But it's got a little paper insert here. This record must be played at maximum volume. Thank you to the slam dancers and headbangers, United Forces Worldwide. So I saw these guys. I know they have I think 2 LPs out, which I don't have. I don't know physical copies of. These dudes were fucking awesome live. It's black vinyl, just Foreseen, Mind Rot Records. These dudes were fucking awesome live. I was very into it. But it's crossover. A lot of punks and skinheads dig them. People go nuts. It's just a good time. But that's Foreseen, Structural Oppression, 7-inch, 2 songs. Next I have an original, well, I don't even know if it's original because it's on Mystic. But it's an Ill Repute, Oxnard, Land of No Toilets, 7-inch. These guys, Nardcore legends. I like it says here, we only jump at practice. But classic Mystic records. This one doesn't have an insert. I don't know if it does. But the poorly photocopied sleeve with an ad for Mystic on here. These guys play, it's early 80s hardcore. It's 1983. I don't know, I might have looked this one up. This might be like a repress, but from 83, but the original came out in 83. As I've stated before, Mystic Records is just insane with their pressing. Like, who knows? They keep everything, they just press shit. Sometimes they hold on to old records and make new covers, or have old covers and new presses in it. They're a mess. But, Blue Center labels, it's black vinyl, 8 songs. Fast, angry, fast hardcore early with the early 80s California sound. Pretty much the purveyors of the Nardcore sound, if you guys know what that is, which is Oxnard, California had a whole crew of bands come out of it around the same time, and they all kind of had a similar sound. Moshy, skate rocky, just awesome shit. But here's the Ill Repute, Oxnard, Land of No Toilets, but you can't really read it because they just wrote it in marker and then photocopied it 1,000 times. But dude's taking a piss. The Oxnard Nardcore Repute logo, Mystic right here. I know there's ones that say Super 7 right here. Doug Moody, copyright Doug Moody. Live shot on the back. Next we have, this is an interesting record. This is a repress of the Fix Jan's Room and the Vengeance 7-inch. But this came out on Touch and Go. I want to say it was 2000 or maybe 99. And this is a repress of these 2 records. If you guys know, I'm sure some of you might know, some collector nerds watch this. These records are fucking crazy money, the original presses. So what they did for this is they repressed them, put them in this like cool little package. It's number 2000. I'm number 265. So there's that's the Vengeance, and here's Jan's Room. And then you open it up here, and it's literally the same exact thing as the original. And it's in like this heavy plastic sleeve. 2 guys. It's autographed by 2 members of the band and pen, which I don't. Whatever. It comes with remakes of the original flyers. If you guys know, one was spray painted, so this one's spray painted. They just did the same exact thing for the originals. They didn't really change anything. Support Midwest hardcore. And then the records are just black vinyl. The labels are exactly the same as the originals were. So I don't know if anyone's ever tried to take these out of this like packaging they did and sell them as original press. I don't think it would go that well. I mean, they're autographed, but you can say they're autographed back then. I don't know. I'm not a big autograph on records guy. I don't know if you guys are. I know some people love that shit. I don't really dig it. I don't really care for it. It's just dudes in a band. But I got some autographed stuff because I just get it that way. But this came out on Touch and Go. 2 Midwest, Midwest hardcore in the vein of D. Kreuzen. Very, very a Fix song when you hear it. And there was also one of the, I think the bass player was black, which was totally out of place, besides Bad Brains during that time. But it says numbered, limited edition of 1,000 copies, signed by Craig Calvert and Steve Miller. Reissue printing exactly as per 1981 originals. No art or text has been altered, including Jansrum sleeve silkscreen on red paper, Vengeance sleeve offset printed on red paper with half flat back cover, extra exact reprints of both original inserts, including the rare yellow one, Jansrum yellow inserts hand printed by Steve Miller of The Fix, and Tesco via the Meatmen as they originally did in 1981. The Devo cover. Alright, almost done. 2 more, guys. Next I have Bl'ast, School's Out, which came out on SST. Bl'ast were a California hardcore band. This came out in 1987. It's an Alice Cooper cover and a Germs cover with an original in the middle. These guys had some LPs just come out recently of remastered stuff, which is cool. A little bit more heavier, like metal influence hardcore from the 80s, but that's Bl'ast, just a 3-song. This one's, it's got the old price tag made the thing stick to it, which is a bummer. But. And then finally I have the Unity 7-inch, which was California straight edge hardcore. Here's the back. The singer and guitar player, I believe, from this band went on to start Chain of Strength after this. These guys were only around for a minute from what I've read. Another member of the band went on to be in No for an Answer and early, I wrote it down so I can remember so I don't fuck it up. Early Ignite, he was also in Speak 714. This was repressed and on Indecision Records in 2015. An original of this, like, this doesn't have the inserts, so I don't know if it's considered an original. It is original press missing the inserts, so it's not full value. This was a really expensive record for a while. The repress has this as the cover, but this is the original cover right here. It's on Wishing Well Records, which is, you know, legendary straight edge hardcore label. I think that's Pat from Chain right there. Just, you know, not Chain of Strength. Was it Chain? Is it Chain of Strength? Uniform Choice. I'm a retard. So the guitar player and singer went on to Uniform Choice. But anyways, that's the Unity 7-inch. Late 80s California straight edge hardcore. Get into it, guys. It's awesome shit. So that's all I got tonight. I got about a minute, I think, before I get cut off, so I'm going to try to go as far as I can. I just wanted to say that box set I was talking about, I have. So that'll be my next video. Patac Records, which I've talked about in the past. The owner and his girlfriend ran into a situation where they had to find a place to live real quick. So he's selling a bunch of stuff for cheap. So I'm going to post a link. I did an order with him. I got it yesterday, so that'll be in the next video with the box set. I'll post a link for 45 Revolutions Distro, Doug. Who, you know, he only does in-person sales around the New England area.